A blue lock game in the style of rematch, a perfect combination that a lot of people want, but what would that actually look like? How would you convert the systems, gameplay, characters and story? Well, I've had a version of a blue lock game marinated in my brain for like years, so I'm gonna try to do my best at conceptualizing the perfect blue lock game. So there'll be 5 parts to creating this game. The first one we gotta talk about is the first thing you will do is create a character. To be honest, I originally wasn't sure about CACs, because if you could have Nagi trapping, Rin shooting, Baro's ego, Isagi's aura farming, Shiguri's femininity, why would you ever play as the main cast? But I do think people will still want to play the main cast even if the CACs will be broken. I just think that we need to separate the CAC matches from the character matches just for everyone's sanity. So anyway, after you make your totally original OC, we can get to the more interesting part, and that is selecting your weapon. How many will there be? Well, keeping it accurate to the show, most characters have 1 to 2 weapons, so you'll get 2 weapon slots, with the caveat that some super broken weapons will take 2 slots. This is all well and good, but what if I just want 1 weapon? What if I want that Chigri build that just put everything in speed? Well, you'll be able to put the same ability in both slots, increasing that weapon's level to level 2. And even some entirely new weapons will exist only through upgrades. Loki's speed will be an upgrade of Chiguri's speed, Kaiser impact will be an extension of direct shot, and so on and so forth. Then lastly, you'll be able to choose an ego. This will dictate a very important mechanic, that being flow. Every character has a flow state which enhances their abilities and even sometimes changes them. The prerequisite to entering flow is fulfilling your ego, which is represented by using your weapon effectively and doing character specific tasks. For example, Chiguri, if you run past someone, hit top speed and score, your flow meter will increase slowly over the course of the match. I want this to be quite hard, so if you're playing like a donkey, you ain't gonna ever get into a flow. Now, some flows and tasks will be harder than others, so that's why it's important to choose the right ego which suits your playstyle and character. So cool, you made your, again, totally original character, but what else does the gameplay have to offer? It's basically rematch. I don't really need to reinvent the wheel. Rematch is an extremely good base, and football games aren't particularly complicated. You shoot, you pass, you dribble, same, let's move on. But I did have a few additions to the basics. First off, unlike most football games, how good your touch is will be based off of you and how you read the pass. The longer you hold the receive button, the harder the touch will be, and you have to judge this correctly. And if you do it wrong, you will be slower after you receive the ball. I don't think the downside should be that steep, just something to make, Nagi's ability actually mean something. That's honestly the main reason I put this in here. Apart from that, each character will have at least 2 specials and a flow meter as stated before. And in terms of who will be in the game, well, everyone. No, literally everyone. Have Isagi, Rin, Sai, of course, all of those, but have the background characters, have the irrelevant characters like Igarashi, have Naruhaya, all of these characters. And I think this is possible even though it will equate to about 70 characters. Most of them will be kind of copy and pasted, most of them will have similar movesets, generic movesets, so I don't think it's completely unrealistic. But what I think would be cool is that if they had certain characters like Indoji, the guy with the cool ass design that was never used, give him a moveset unique to the character and actually be like, oh yeah, this is a character never shown before in the series, there's actually in a game. I think it'll be a cool selling point, because I know I want to see him do something, because they heard like one of the best design characters in the show. I don't know why. Kind of sure didn't use him. Now that you've made your character and you know the mechanics, you can go anywhere you desire, but you choose wisely to play offline first just to get your toes warm, because let's be honest, online is going to be scary. So the main attraction will be story mode. Your CAC will progress through the Blue Lock story. Think of it kind of like a Telltale game where you have a lot of choice, starting with choosing what stratum they will be a part of. This will be really cool as you'll be able to see stratums never shown in the actual series. You'll go through all of the selections, eventually making it to the NEL. The best way to make the story is to keep it dynamic. Decisions affecting your rank, your team, relationships, kind of like a diet Telltale game, as I said before. But I do think it is realistic consider how short the story mode will be, because 90% of Blue Lock is just football matches, and even at a max, each game will be like 20 minutes. There are 17 games in total throughout the series. I haven't looked at some of the scenes outside of the games which are required to give the game's story context, and even then it'll still be probably less than 10 hours. But that is fine because it's going to be replayable. They could even do the Persona thing where they talk over the text boxes, which I think would be fine. Other game modes offline will include standard player match, CPU match, 11v11, 5v5, 1v1, etc, training mode and all of that other good stuff. So when you're finally finished the story mode, train yourself, you can finally go online. So then what are the online offerings? This will be where players will likely spend most of their time, so it's even more important potentially than offline. So I have 5 game mode ideas for online. We'll go through the obvious pick, that being quick play, but the question is, will it be 5v5 or 11v11? In my opinion, it has to be 5v5 kind of because of rematch. It made me realize that having fewer players makes for a way more engaging experience, so it'll have to be the main game mode for quick play. But 11v11 may be added. The only reason I kind of don't want its implementation is because it'll split the player base, and if you do that, then the wait times are going to be longer, it's going to be hard to get into matches, etc, etc. But obviously you could do it in custom lobbies and maybe in special events. There'll also be ranked 5v5, however these will be with normal characters. The CAC game mode will be something else, which will also kind of be like a ranked game, but how it works is that the higher rank will be, the better your character will get, just so that people at the first rank aren't versing level 99 Noah clones and just cooking you, shooting from halfway across the pitch. It will give a natural sense of your abilities growing relative to your actual skill level. In FIFA, they do not do this. They let 99 level players actually do versus level 1 players, and I want to kill myself virtually in the Blue Lock game that we're currently talking about. Anyway, the next game mode is Star Change Battle. This one of the players who is doing the best can swap temporarily their character with a world-class striker, like one of the World 5, turning the game into a frenzy to defeat the kind of boss character similar in fury to Battlefront 2. And lastly, I think a special second selection event would be really interesting, with rules almost exactly like the anime, where there'll be a massive like 50 player lobby, or maybe not that many, but a lot of people within one lobby, and then you'll all have teams of 3, and then you'll match up against each other. If you win, you take one person from the enemy team. If you lose, you go down, or you get taken by the enemy teammate. When I first watched this, I thought this was a genius way of doing a tournament style arc, and what would be even more interesting than that would be actually playing in it. And I think making this a seasonal or monthly event would make sense, since the player base would need to stay healthy, and if you do it seasonally, then everybody will be on it and it will be very healthy. And if it's a rare occurrence, the lobbies will likely be filled, as opposed to taking 10 minutes to find a match. And also in the game mode, it will be prone to waiting if you win twice in a row quickly, so it will be a limited time thing just to make people more engaged with it. But anime fans aren't happy with anything, so this might have been a waste of a sentence. Now onto the thing that I know Bandai is sitting up for, the monetization. Now, the monetization model is probably the most important thing in order to make this game realistic, and is simultaneously probably one of the most difficult things to address. There are two ways I'm seeing it going: either completely free, or the full big boy price, reach deep into your pocket, £70 or quid or whatever. Now, full price is the standard and would work fine, but personally I'm leaning towards free, because I just think it'll do much more for the game in terms of its communities, you know, keeping that player base high, as I've mentioned before. We've also seen many games implement this and work. The only hurdle for this to actually work is the in-game purchases need to be very appealing. But what could you really do for BLUELOCK? That's a genuine question. I thought auras would be cool, different kits, but I'm thinking, is that really enough? Auras are cool, but are they really gonna make people drop 10 quid like Marvel rival Guna skins? Yeah, no, probably not. Honestly, both have their pros and cons. You could even do a rematch and have it £20, but I think that this game should differentiate with its pricing, because if it's £70, then it could be seen as more of a premium version, and if it's free, then it could be seen as a cheaper alternative. If it's the exact same amount, then it'll be more in direct competition, and that might be bad for the game. Honestly, it could go either way, so tell me what you think, thinking from a business perspective. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know everyone here wants a BLUELOCK game, but there actually is a channel making a BLUELOCK game. That's why I got the whole idea about the trapping thing. It's a YouTube channel called Aaron, and he's been documenting his process. It's probably gonna go up on Steam. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it is going up on Steam. Yeah, check that out if you want to see kind of BLUELOCK game. But yeah, tell me what you think about the ideas. Tell me about any ideas of your own. Tell me about any future ideas for videos, and yeah, let it out your play, man.
Cause I see next like, oh shit, why? Ain't wanna know shit, bye. Go away, cause you so sorry. You so sorry. No, you so sorry. Now you so sorry. Now you so sorry. Now you so sorry.